office, and you never know where the battles are. I just think it's a different world than when, let's say, Bill Saxby was Attorney General. Bill Brown was Attorney General. We just have a very active government, federal government. And while it may have been somewhat active then, I think today it's clearly overreaching. And so we've taken the federal government to court. Some we win, some we lose. My job, judges do their job. My job is to bring up those issues when I think there's been a violation of the Constitution or an infringement on our rights of the people of the state of Ohio.
There's no particular issue right now that you plan to get involved in?
I think we just kind of monitor it, and we speak out when it's time to do it.
Yeah, Attorney General DeWine, we had the Guns with Crime, Crimes with Guns Task Force. In the past year or so, we've had alleged miscues around guns and police and so forth, and of course you respond to that at some level. How do you go forward with the issue of guns with crimes, being tough on that, but not overreacting to people with guns?
I think we need to do two things, and they're both on their way, I hope, to being accomplished. The first is we have presented a bill to the state legislature, and what that bill would do is simply say that if you're a violent offender and you've already been convicted of 2 separate violent acts and you've been sent to the prison and you've come out and you've been told time and time again you're not allowed to have a gun because you're a convicted felon, and if you have a gun then, after being convicted to 2 previous felonies of violence, then you ought to go away for a long, long time. And the bill that Jim Hughes has introduced in the legislature would say you go away for 11 years. I think that's one thing that really needs to be done because it's going against the worst of the worst of the worst. It's a small number of criminals who commit the violent acts. We got to get them, we got to lock them up. The second thing is the task force that I created, very broad-based task force, 15 people, community leaders, people who have a background in law enforcement, also people who are just community leaders. And they're on their way to look very, very closely to determine whether or not the training that every police officer in this state receives, is it adequate today? Is it enough hours? Is the quality of the education good? Are we on the right topics, the right subjects, the right curriculum? They're also going to look at the continuing education. If you look at the continuing education, we have many important jobs in this state. I don't know anyone that's more important than being a police officer. And a lot of the jobs that we license, we have to have more continuing education than we have to do, than it takes for police officers to have continuing education. So this task force is going to look at that. I think we're behind other states in this area. And they're going to come back with recommendations. So these are 2 things, very tangible things that we're doing. None of them done, but we're on our way.